I just gotta share this link. Hold up real quick. Okay. All right, let's. Oh, what the shit. Let's see if that'll work. All right, time to tie up some more soft beads. Kind of having a little trouble doing this, more so than the other day, but we're gonna get this going here. So I'm gonna come up with a piece of leader. What's up, man? Merry Christmas. Let's see, we'll go about this, and then gotta get my hook. So what I do for this, see if you guys can see from here, just kind of feed it through this. So far away my depth perception is a little messed up, but just give yourself a little extra tag. End on this, wrap it around 8 times. Then cinch this knot up close to the hook so it's nice and tight. And then what I do is I take the tag end, go up through the back so it sits more naturally. Pull that tight. But yeah, I'm finishing up tying up soft beads for winter steelhead, and then just kind of Christmas shenanigans. You know, if you guys have any Christmas, comments about Christmas, or, drop your favorite Christmas present or something like that. I'll be right back. I do gotta get a trash can. All right, we're back. All right, so yeah, we got probably a good, that's probably 3+ feet leader. And just gonna snip this tag end off. Thanks for the engagement, Bryce. Out here trolling. I respect the game. I respect the commitment to hating. All right, so we got that right there. And what's good, man? Merry Christmas. If you're new to the live stream, we're just tying up some beads for winter steelhead. We got 13 of you guys in here right now. It's pretty cool. So how's your guys' Christmases going? What was the highlight of your Christmas? Christmas Eve and Christmas, and what are you guys looking forward to for the new year? And what kind of content do you guys want to see in the future? That's something I'm open to hearing. But we got this tied up. We're gonna tie this bead knot, or bead stop on right here. So I put it through the wire, and then as you can see, it goes right onto the line. You cut this crimp off in your line, and then yo, what's good? RQNT. Hold on, let me I'm trying to see where I know you from. I must know you since you know my name, but we just cut this tag off. So now we got our bead stop on there down by the hook. We're gonna be tying up what did I do last time? This is oh, Trey, yeah, gotcha. I didn't recognize the profile. What's good? Yeah, I got got some of these 20 mil beads I tied up last time, and I got some of the 10 mils. So let's see, 4 20s. It's gonna do 4 10s and 4 8s. So this will be my last 10. Actually, let's see if we have a pink one in there. I don't think so, but Yeah, it looks like all orange. So we'll go with this one. Good old, actually, we'll see if we can find a clear one so I can have 2 of each from there. Yeah, this little red one right here, that's done me wonders before. All right, let's see if I can get to all these comments. Yeah, I know my name's in my YouTube name. I just could tell that they knew who I was. Hey man, that's awesome. You don't even fish, but you're still watching. That's cool. So you know, I try and make these videos, you know, entertaining to even necessarily people who aren't into fishing and camping and things like that. But if you just joined the stream, we just had a good boost of people joining the stream. Just tied this one up right here. So that is a beautiful sucker. We got the red Christmas color going on there. So that right there is steelhead candy. We will be throwing that into action here pretty soon. What I do is I get it down to where it's tied up onto the bead stop, about a couple finger lengths away from the hook, maybe this far away, maybe just a tad closer. Drop this down a little bit. Right about here. This is where you want to be at. That's kind of that saucy spot right there. And steelhead see that, they go for the hook, they crush it, and they don't know what hit them half the time. So, but well, is it edible? I don't know. You know, you can find out for yourself. It's very tempting to want to try it out, but imagine that has plenty of plastics and things that aren't any good for you. So I'm gonna tie this thing up. This is kind of the part that can trip me up sometimes, is these have these little slits in here. What you want to do is feed it through here without having it pop out. So you put your finger down on it to clamp it down. Look at that one. I got it going pretty smoothly, except for hooking myself continually in the pants. So once you get your thumb out of the way, once it's tightened down, you just kind of twist it so it doesn't go into the other lane and get messed up, or get around the end of this thing. And then what I do is I pull on this hook a bit just to give it a bit of tension, and then just push it down as far into the foam as I can. So there we go. That's in just a couple little sessions. I usually get pretty fast with this one. I'm not yapping, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2/3 of a roll right there. So, and these are this is one of my rolls, all pink. I did an all pink and all orange right here, and sort of red as well. But this one is not fully finished because I used a couple of them, broke a couple beads. So got 2 mostly full beads right here. And then we got this one that is in progress, but kind of have a lot of 12s and 14s on here mostly. So then I will have 20s and 10s on here and 8s. And not very sure that I have any 16s on here except for maybe some of these. But, you know, and these big beads, I'm just clearing a notification, but big beads, you know, they're like when that water gets high and that water gets kind of brown or dark green or just kind of blown out, you know, if you do want to continue to fish and find a place to fish, those are the types of beads you want to be throwing, just because it gets so tough for the fish to see. So, you know, the lower water you go, the more clear it is, the smaller beads you want to use. One thing I've learned personally, it kind of doesn't really matter what fish you're fishing for. You know, bigger isn't always better. And in fact, bigger is oftentimes not as good because, you know, sometimes they see something big and they can kind of see through that, realize it's fake, but you use something small, it's a more subtle presentation. Should I go fishing right now? Is that even a question? Just send it. Mr. Trey, I have a question. I'm scared of worms. Is there something else I can hook on the end? You know, something that is actually messier than worms. Let's see if I can tilt this just a little more. But power bait, you know, if you got a treble hook, that's power bait works best on that. That'll work great for anything stock, so stock trout, you know, just ponds, rivers, lakes, whatever really. And yeah, you know, we're just gonna kind of lock in a little bit here. Not yap as much, but I wanted to keep this, you know, stream, especially since it's Christmas and at this point in the day, I don't have a lot going on right now. So I'm gonna be sitting here for a while, leaving the camera on, tying up. Feel free to drop by, stay as long as you want. I'm gonna just be out here just recording for a good hour and a half maybe. Kind of depends how fast my battery goes down, but we're gonna focus a little bit so I can cut this next piece. But we got a good 3-4 feet right here, so we can trim it somewhere down here, maybe. There we go. And time to tie up another hook. I said yes. What do you mean answer the question? Just go fishing right now. Tag in on this one. It's gonna wrap this one a little tighter because the last one, okay, I need a little more actually. There we go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you always got to check these knots, always pull on them. I got a little fray in my line right here actually, so I'm definitely gonna want to be cutting that out. Back to the top. I usually give it a good few pulls just to make sure, because it never hurts. And one of my best pieces of advice is, okay, this get kind of messed up here. Okay, that got really messed up. One of my best pieces of advice, yeah, see, we're gonna have to do that one again. Happens. Check your drag before you start fishing. That costed me one of my biggest fish ever recently, this last winter. So save yourself from as much heartbreak as you can, because you're gonna experience quite a bit of that. You're getting into bigger fish. No matter how good of a fisherman you are, it's bound to happen. I'm just gonna, I might just see how long this is. I just throw this whole thing out and try it again. I got really screwed up on that one. New piece of line. Yeah, okay, this one looks good. It's not phrased like I thought there was, but just several feet. You know, and the one thing I try and do is give myself an extra 6 inches or a foot on the leader, like I was saying the other day, because I tend to cut them too short. And obviously once you cut them too short, there's nothing you can do about it, but cut yourself a little extra, and then you don't have to worry about it. You can always trim it down later. Ooh, I'm loving this knot way better right here. So then if I don't mess this up, we should be good on this one. I was faster with it the other day for sure. Okay, here's what we got. Let's get a little close up right here. And that's before I trim the tag end off, obviously. This is what they're supposed to look like. Nice little tight snell down on the eye of the hook. And now it's time for the most satisfying part. I already grabbed a hook. We'll keep that for next time. The bead stop right here. Actually, I'm onto the 8s now. So these little guys right here, wee little guys, will go and tie up. This one, just tiny little thing, but you know, it's a lot closer in size to an actual salmon egg, which is what, when they're hitting this is what they think this is, obviously. So I'm gonna grab one of these and pull that onto the line, pull it down. Again, I keep hooking my pants, so I'm losing my scissors, apparently. But, so you turn this off. Then now all we gotta do Got that bead stop down there, nice and snug, and we are gonna feed this, I believe, this isn't a creamsicle, it's a little 8 mil. It's BNR, that's typically what I have. I do have some hard beads too, and those work pretty damn well as well. But these, I try and match hook size as best as possible, but this is what we're with right now. We just finished that one. Looks pretty darn good. Looks like something a steelhead should smoke. So we got that few feet a leader. We got this bead right here, and then we got the hook a couple inches around. And like I said, that gives the steelhead an opportunity to grab the hook, going for the bead, without having the bead get in the way of that hook set. So then you feel it like this and just set the hook. Obviously not gonna set the hook into my hand because I've done that before. But another thing I do on this setup is I drop a split shot about halfway down, and that has helped me hook so many more fish. So if you guys just joined, we're tying up soft beads for winter steelhead. I'm just trimming this end a little more if I can. Didn't get it that much, but how was your guys' Christmas and Christmas Eve? Drop down what your favorite present was and what kind of content you guys want to see in the future, whether you're new here or a returning viewer. Very festive. I love fishing. There's another trick. All right, I'd like to hear your trick. This one works for me pretty well, but I mean, there's certainly multiple ways to do things. We got that one right there. I like how Buddy hits me with a nice comment and then decides to troll immediately after, but you know, it is what it is. He says, very festive. Assumed at first maybe he was not being sarcastic, but maybe he was. Then he says, you're the worst. You always give out good fishing spots in your videos. She must not watch my videos because I do not. Maybe he's talking about some of my older videos. Blowing up spots. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That's how I know you don't watch my videos. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm an idiot. I should have known. I should have known that was Yusuf just because of the Ak. Now I figured someone was just messing around. I'm not tripping about it. It's all good. It's all jokes. Merry Christmas, brother. I hope you're having a great Christmas. It's been, damn, dude, it's been, I think we haven't fished together since early June, so it's been 6 or 7 months, apparently. Yeah, I mean, keep making jokes. Keep making jokes. So let's make the chat real interesting. But oh man, this thing looks juicy right here. I'm feeling this one. This one's gonna get me a steelhead by New Year's, maybe. Hi, what's up? What did I do for Christmas? Well, yesterday we had everyone over at our place, 5:30, and pretty much everybody was gone by 7. And then we opened presents last night, and then this morning we've done pretty much nothing. Had a little breakfast. Oh man, but somebody just made my day. Buddy, lose some fat and build muscle. Stayed up until 5 in the morning. That's hardcore. Yeah, you know, yeah, that's pretty hardcore. Why do I do YouTube? You know, it's passion. Like since I was 8 or 9 years old, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to, you know, do some tutorials, and for the most part, I just wanted to film my fishing adventures. So now I'm just fishing, camping. That's what I do, and you know, wanted that to always be a reality, and then finally got a GoPro and was just able to do that. And so, you know, I don't do it for the money. I do it for the love of the game. It would be nice to get, you know, some income for this eventually, but I put so much work into this channel, and just everything I've done, and results haven't exactly paid off how I've wanted to, but you know, that's how it goes. Believe in Jesus, buddy. Best comment of the day. Wait, wasn't that the same dude who just called me fat? Bryce, you're just not that guy. Yeah, I like doing this. It's I get a lot more comments on here than on my normal videos, so it's weird because like a live stream takes very little work, and yet, you know, my other videos take so much work. But I'm just assuming most of you guys are just joking around. I did encourage the joking, so I'm not gonna sit here and be butthurt about it. But anyway, we're gonna tie this one up to what we already got going here. I think it got a little cramped, but I think we'll keep it like that. Should be fine because it's just at the end. Now that this is cinched down, we just, got a little too wild and crazy with it. Shoot. That almost had to do it all over again. 6 people, 10 likes. Let's get those numbers up. Decent numbers, but we'll see how good of a Christmas, how good of a Christmas deal we can get going. This is what we're working with right here. We're so close to finishing this one tube. We're 3/4 of the way through it. So yeah, I hope you guys are all having a great Christmas. Like I said, this is just me killing time out here. We got some plans later on tonight, but for the next couple hours, not so much. So I wanted to finish up this project, get some of these tied, get as many as I can tied, just because when you're steelhead fishing, you need so much tackle. You need so many things already pre-tied. So hope y'all are having a great Christmas Eve. We're going to keep it rolling here for a while. And, once I tie up this roll, I won't have as much left to do. So part of me is just out here stalling and yapping a little bit just to kind of see how many people want to hang out on the stream. So be careful. Oh wait, wrong. Can we get your mom on as a special guest? Wouldn't be surprised if she stops by unintentionally, but time to cut a new piece. All right, we got some people back. Might be the same people, might not be. We're just gonna 5, 6, 7, 8. Tighten that. Go up. And go back through this hole. Pull it. And then this is the tricky part. I kind of have to get my fingers out of the way here. There probably is a way to do this to where it's a little smoother, but nice knot right there. Some of them I tie are better than others. That's just how she goes. But let's see if it's not too late to get to 500 subs by the end of the year. I know we got a week to do it, or less, 6 days, but that's something I've been grinding towards for a while. Probably, I think we're at 461 right now. I think we maybe gained some more subs from the stream, but it'd be nice if we could get another 40 by the end of the year. But that'd be thanks for subscribing. Looks like we gained at least 2 this stream, so I'm gonna keep it rolling. How long do I like this string? It varies. And you can see right here, it's pretty long. It also probably depth perception on this camera looks different. Wow, we just jumped up from 2 to 11, and we've got this hook tied up right here with the egg loop knot. So if you guys are checking in, hopping in for just trying to get into some winter steelhead, you know, tutorials, or just hanging out on Christmas, you know, either way, that's what we're doing. So, but typically I like the string several feet long. I've caught fish on even leader that's only like even a foot and a half long. There was sometimes I had some real short leader and just somehow hooked fish, but it looks like we're up to 13 people, 13 likes on the stream. So, you know, it comes in waves, and we're gonna pull this bead stop on right here. Thank you for subscribing. Anyone who's subscribing, I really appreciate it. And we're gonna be crimping this knot off right here. If you didn't know, this is primarily a fishing channel, but I've done drone videos in the past. I've done cinematic kind of episodes, and I usually do put cinematic intros on my fishing videos. Maybe gonna start working in drone shots and other things. But gonna get our bead going here. I'll go with this same color bead we did on the last one, which is kind of that glossed orange. And then we will do 2 see-through oranges, or 2 reds. But time to slip this thing on. If I can find, okay, there we go. All right, oh, a little more. All right, this is what we got. Nice little rig I just now tied up, and that one of these will certainly at least, excuse me, one of these will at least certainly hook me a steelhead at some point in the future, hoping. So, do you catch a lot of fish in winter? Because I don't. You know, past couple years more so. Sometimes I'll trout fish in the winter. Primarily, my focus is winter steelhead now. So I'm not going to give out locations on that, but all I can say is, you know, if that's something you're into or want to get into, you know, it just takes a lot of exploring. But sometimes the best spots to go to aren't always the spots where everybody else is. Just kind of adjusting this right here. It's kind of our final product right there. 4 of you are still on the stream, it looks like, and lost my tube for a second, but there it is. 13 likes. Let's see if we'll shoot for a goal of, depending on how long we have this thing going for, we'll shoot for 25 likes since it's obviously December 25th. And maybe we can hit at least 465 on subscribers. I think we're already somewhat close to that, but got this sucker tied up right here. And, but yeah, sometimes winter's a struggle for me. I mean, especially before I started fishing certain areas and for certain fish, but in the past, you know, this 6 months of the year is pretty slow for me. So this is when I do things like this, just get all tied up, get everything ready and locked and loaded, and, you know, ready to go for the upcoming season. But $464, nice. He's keeping track better than me. Alrighty. Cut around here. Ideally, I'd want to vary in sizes with these, like I was saying, but you know, like I was also saying, we can trim this down if it's a foot too long or 6 inches too long. Better for it to be that than too short, because there's nothing you can do about it, but either just roll with it or retie. See, I don't know about this one. Well, this might be a good one right here. Got 5 people. We're you know how it is with live streams. It kind of comes and goes up and down. I don't do a lot of these, but I'm starting to do more now, and it's paying off. So, you know, if you guys are just now stopping by, we're just doing a Christmas live stream, hanging out while I tie up some stuff. So figured might as well switch the camera on and, you know, drop your favorite Christmas present or your best memory from this Christmas so far and Christmas Eve. Got a nice knot on that one too. So we are looking decent on here. And I think this one may be a little shorter than the other ones, which is kind of nice. And so we're gonna put this bead stop on again. Some of these got dyed colors. Like you can see this one right here, it's pink. I don't know how that happened. I think it was just from the beads or whatever, but you know, it shouldn't matter. Fish shouldn't see any of that, so. But trim that, and now we've got bead stop down here, and then just going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so yeah, the next 2 are going to be these clear orange ones, which they're actually called reds. I think these are I think they're just so satisfying to look at. They're honestly one of my favorite ones just because of that. Sometimes, you know, they design beads and fishing lures and things like that to catch fish, and other times they design them to catch the attention of fishermen. So this does both. So I believe we got one more on this roll after this, and then I've got a few more on the other roll, but that's what we are working with right here. And ideally what happens is you want your line to be straight, and then you got the bead kind of dangling. You want it near the bottom. If you have a split shot, it helps it get to the bottom faster, which kind of helped me. If you don't cast up as far ahead as you want to, sometimes it can help it drop it down faster and get it in front of a fish's mouth faster. So it kind of sits like this, and then sometimes you'll just get it right in front of their mouth and they'll take it. But tie this one up onto this roll. Then we got one more. I would love to sit here and tie up more of these, just tie more rolls, but I'm actually out of rolls. So I believe I actually have now 3 that need tied up on one of my other rolls. So I still need 4 more to go, but ideally I want this live stream to go at least an hour. So why not? Why the heck not? What we're working with right here though. One thing I said on the last stream is you want to make sure these are tight on here. Like not only the line's tightly wrapped, but I don't like my beads to wiggle a lot right here. So I pull the hook, give it some extra tension, and then push it in just so that happens. But it's looking not only fishy, but arts and crafty and festive. So got some ornaments we're tying up today. Yeah, any questions, any comments, you know, go for it, shoot. I'm just kind of sitting here and killing time. So I'm going to cut that there, and ideally I probably would have done an actual fishing live stream, because I haven't done one of those yet. You know, live streaming while I'm fishing, but it's Christmas. I wasn't planning on going anywhere today, so this is kind of my closest I'm getting to actually getting out on the water and going fishing, so could be worse. Oh, I just screwed this up. I didn't even, man, rookie mistake. Got so yappy that I didn't even put the hook on here. So we just burnt that bead stop. That's good to know. I was like, damn, I'm going through this quick, but this setup also works good for when you're doing corky and yarn. So what you can do is do the same knot and then just wrap the yarn in there. That works for both salmon and steelhead. I've caught both on that. So well, I don't know if I have caught a steelhead on corky and yarn, but I'm sure I've hooked one at some point. I caught a salmon on corky and yarn just, not even 2 months ago. That video will be up at some point. This wasn't the greatest knot, but she'll do. At least we didn't screw it up that time. And you guys are new to the stream, we're just tying up beads for winter steelhead. Just got to crimp this off right here. And then we're going to be putting this bead stop on here. This leader's kind of short now. I mean, it's still a couple feet at least. So what I'm going to do is feed this to the bead stop, not too far, so I don't have to cut off that much extra line. Well, just a little crimp right there we got to take out. But if you're new, how's your guys' Christmas? What was your favorite Christmas present? What was your favorite moment of Christmas? And we're gonna slide this thing on. Since it's the last one, we're gonna go with the red. So we can have 2 reds and 2 oranges that are in size 8. And we're going to have a shorter leader on this one because this one will be most likely used in low, clear water since it's a small bead and a short leader. But that's our finished product for this roll. We only got a few more to go. So, you know, we still got a good amount of leader right here. You could probably see just about all of it right here. So, I'll tie this up onto this roll and then get to moving on to the other one. It's kind of fun just hanging out here and just doing this. And you know, when you get people, when you get a lot of people in here and just hanging out and asking questions and comments, it can be a really good time killer. Keep dropping this, but we'll get it right one of these days. Usually how it goes, seems like we get a surge right at the beginning and another little surge later on, but seems like most people kind of peak early, and then usually at this point it's usually only a couple people. So we've been sitting at 1 or 2 for a while now. But what is your guys' best catch of the year, best catch of 2025, since we are almost going into 2026? Perfection right here. We're close enough to perfection. We've got loads of different sizes, colors, and shades of colors. So this thing's a little bent, but this one is finished as well. So we're just on to this one right here. We got a few holes to fill right here. 1, 2, 3, like I suspected. So I think I'll be tying up 14s on both of those. And then I might, if we're not having much activity, you know, the next 20 minutes, I might call it a stream. I mean, the most I could be on here is like a little over another hour, but that's a bit lengthy. But I appreciate whoever stopped in, so that's helpful. Definitely trying to get this thing off the ground more, the channel, and grow. So every like, view, and subscriber, you know, it helps me get there. So it's been doing this for 5 years, and not the type of growth you might think that I would have had in that time. But I cut this around here because I think this one's pretty long. And then now I'm done with these. These are the 8s. So we're gonna move back to the 14s, which is probably my favorite all around size, or 12. And that's gonna take me more time to figure out what ones I wanna use, which is good because there's no one on the stream currently, so. I try using the smaller hooks because, like I said, bigger ain't always better when it comes to fishing. See, some of these are a little on the big side, and some of them, honestly, I've kind of learned, like with hooks, if like this is about perfect, and I can use these same size hooks for trout and have success with them, but if it looks a little too small, it's probably about right. That's what I would say when it comes to lures and baits and beads and things of that nature. I think it would be pretty cool to get some bead molds and do this, you know, like very often. Still a good solid several feet right there. But without that split shot, it makes a world of difference for whatever reason. We're just gonna figure out what we want on this. This is gonna, I guess these are all oranges, so that's gonna limit my my choices a bit. I think we'll do one mottled orange. I think we'll do a solid orange, like one of these. If I can grab it. We'll do one of these creamsicles. One of these mottled oranges. And one more. What's the one more? See, we have quite a few reds on here, so I think I'll do I'm back. Can I leave? I don't want to make you sad. Nah. I mean, do whatever you want. Leave if you want to. Stay and hang out if you want to. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But I appreciate you staying for this long. And we're just trying to figure out how to fill these holes on here on this roll we got coming up. So, let's see. I don't have that actually many. Well, I do have a few mottled pinks tying up, so we might. Well, there's no mottled reds. Well, there's a mottled red on that one actually. It's just figuring out that last one because I want to keep my pinks and oranges separate because I might as well. I think we'll just go with this. Are these all the same size? No, this is bigger. Let's see. These three right here. The mottled orange, the creamsicle, and the, well, I'm not really sure what it's called. Looks like we got 2 people on the stream. So if you're new, we are tying up some nice, good looking soft bead rigs for winter steelhead. And we got this one right here. We are just figuring out what beads we're gonna put on. So yeah, feel free to stop by as long as you want. We're just hanging out and tying stuff up on Christmas. Not gonna make the mistake of, ouch. Yeah, you can get poked by these things, these wires. It's last couple times I got poked though, it hasn't even drawn blood, so that's a positive at least. I'm gonna trim this off, and then now all we got to do is stop hooking my pants and my fingers and hook the beads instead through the line. We're gonna go with this. Okay, so this one middle, creamsicle top. Okay, we'll go with this one first. Next time I'll see your videos more. I appreciate it, man. It's something I put a lot of work into, and I've made a lot over the years, so I really appreciate it. That's what we got right here. It's looking nicer because they're bigger sizes, so we're gonna tie this one up. It's not perfectly in order. I messed it up a little bit, so got a little away from my own little system I was trying to go with here, but and I hooked my pants again. At least I'm not hooking my legs. I hooked the box, and I hooked the box again. Okay. Now we're out of the woods, except for maybe hooking myself. Yeah, we got 2 more to tie up. I think I can make it to an hour. It's 47 minutes on the stream. So I've definitely been going slow. I've been taking my time. I was kind of speed running it a bit more last time, but if you guys are new, we are just finishing up our 3rd roll. Got this one right here, this first roll. It was actually the last one we did. Got this pink roll right here. It's all pinks, dark pink, light pink, medium pinks. And then this one is kind of our orange and slightly red. We had this one done, but then lost a few beads over the outings. So yeah, that's where we're at. Yay, I'm not alone anymore. All right, we got one person. Just tying up my penultimate hook here, so second to last hook. We go back up through this, and those fingers out of the way, maybe. Nice and tight knot. So you wanna always pull on that, get a few good, you know, just to make sure, because you absolutely do not want it costing you one of your biggest fish ever. Now we got that trim down. I trim my extra down as much as I possibly can. Maybe some people don't do that as much, but I don't know if it really makes a huge difference at the end of the day, but that's the way I do it. So got another 10 minutes, so I'm gonna kind of move over this way actually a little bit, so I'm more square with the camera, but it's not the most professional setup. I'm filming on a washer right now, so there is that. It's gonna be a little bit challenging to make it last another 10 minutes, because outside of my long form stuff, I don't have a lot to talk about right now. Just kind of doing this allows me to kill two birds with one stone. So I'm allowed to, or I'm letting myself get work done that I've been procrastinating on, like tying all these up. And even though I haven't really needed to, it's just something I wanted done. And while I'm doing that, I get to potentially get new people onto the channel and grow it that way, and also engage with people who are existing followers or people who have just been in the stream for a little while. So now we're gonna go with the mottled orange for the second one. So I think by the time we're done with this, we'll have two reds, both 14s, two with the shiny orange ones, glossy orange ones, also 14s it looks like. And then one of the kind of clear orange ones. I have two mottled oranges, two creamsicle oranges that are 14s. And then these ones honestly look like 16s. The Magma Glow, which is actually a different brand, that's Elevated Tackle. And then you've got this kind of dirty looking orange one. Not dirty, just kind of not as clear as the other ones are shiny. And we got this red one on the end. I found that somewhere, I'm pretty sure. These last two beads actually, the second to last bead I bought. But the last bead I found, I think those are all 16s. I don't use 16s a lot. That's one of the sizes I use the least. So honestly, at this point, my favorites are 10s and 14s. So we've got the bead stop on there, and we're almost ready to go on this one. We just gotta get a hold of it and slide it through. Really, this hasn't even killed my battery that much, so works for me. Okay, so we're getting somewhere on this one. I'm going slow. We got one more to tie up. We got about 6 minutes until we've been here for an hour, so. New addition to the club right here, little mottled orange. I'll go so much shorter with this, potentially. Well, that's probably about the same, honestly. Must have hit the old dead hour. Seems like that late morning, early afternoon, maybe people don't have as much going on. I get it, it's Christmas though, so normally I would be having more going on, but today's a little different this year, so. But I appreciate all you guys who have stopped by, taking the time out of your holiday, or maybe you were just bored. Works for me. At least now I was not talking to myself for a second, but now it looks like I am. And that's what we're working with right here. Little under 5 minutes to go. We're gonna beat that buzzer by quite a bit. Quite a bit. Time to put the creamsicle on, the last bead. Finally got that finally got that last bead tied up. Right there, the orange creamsicle. This one hooked me a good steelhead last winter, so just kind of mess with this a little bit. That's about right. Gonna have to tie that up now. To the roll, and then that will pretty much conclude this live stream. Well, if you just joined or if you're rejoining, it's a little bit of a struggle getting this. Oh, I had it. Getting this through this little opening right here. Oh, looks like we might be there. Probably gonna cut this thing off in a couple minutes, the stream. It's really died down quite a bit, which is kind of understandable, but a lot of times anywhere from 0 to 2, so definitely peaked out near the beginning, which makes sense. Well, that's gonna do it for this roll, and I'm just gonna do a quick double check while I'm here to make sure these are all tied up. It looks like they are. And I know this one is tied up because I just did it. So we are actually, I have all 3 of these tied up now for the first time in a while. And fortunately, they should all fit. Well, mostly. That'll work. Just back in the 14s. I kept all those in there. And yeah, that's probably gonna do it. If you guys have, like I said, if you guys have any comments or questions about fishing, this is what we just accomplished. I mean, some of it was already like this, but it's a lot of beads. Took quite a bit, but maybe we'll get another box like this and do this again at some point, because it's kind of satisfying for me. And hopefully for you guys doing as well. This is bead box that I have, just loaded with beads, even after we tied all those up. So I should be good on those for a while. And like I said, hope you all had a Merry Christmas. And thank you for tuning into the live. I think I'm going to cut it off here and get ready to do some of our other things we got going on here. So if you're just joining, we're about to cut this thing off, and hope you guys had a great Christmas. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for my videos coming up, and have a happy new year. Let me know what kind of content you guys want to see in the future. We're going to be trying to do so many things next year. So me and my buddies we all kind of want to do a lot of those different things fishing wise. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Check out my older videos. I got some great ones, got some awesome ones coming up, and hope you all had a great Christmas. See you later.